Hitler just posted his workout.
Boom.
Upcoming. It says, will CrossFit die without Dave Castro?
Boom.
Is your title updated?
Yeah. CrossFit's favorite misogynist. All
It could be anybody.
right, let's see if we're live. Seems like we're live.
Yep.
Can you hear it?
Let me turn the volume up. Yep.
Can you hear it?
Yes, you did it.
Let's freaking go, dude. First time getting this right, damn it. That's right.
You're getting good at this.
Yeah, dude, I'm a pro. Like, I get actually paid now by CrossFit to just go live and not talk about CrossFit much. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, boy.
I don't know if you've ever done that before. Dude, what's up?
So we're shaking.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good.
It's
So-
fun to see all these things flush out.
Yeah, so we always have to do like a fake introduction because we're obviously not talking to each other, beforehand before we actually go live. So this is really nice to just kind of talk to you and for the first time right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, dope. All right, dude, talk to me. Talk to me. We're updated. So much shit is happening in CrossFit, and the only thing that I've been doing for like the past few days has been consuming CrossFit content. And I gotta open up with this. I gotta open up with this. Okay, I have to do a hot take quick. Why is anybody still paying attention to this PFAA shit? I cannot wrap my mind around how like illegitimate people are calling it, and then they're still paying attention and talking about it. To be honest with you, I like the idea of what the PFAA has done, but they don't have a track record yet as far as I'm concerned. And it just seems like a bunch of middle school kids put a club together and they're trying to like make it legit. And dude, trust me, I want it to be legit because of, athlete safety, athlete pay, all that stuff. But like, let's let them build up a track record first, because even people talking shit about them and, making podcasts about them and all this stuff, you're giving them more legitimacy by doing that than they already have. So let's just like cut it, right?
Yeah.
You agree?
100%. I just think it's frustrating to see them make such an emotional approach on something that shouldn't be emotional at all.
Yeah.
Right. Everything should be black and white. We're looking for standardization. We're looking for safety. We're looking for all these parameters and guidelines to like make things happen. And when you get emotional, it just makes it look like you haven't got your ducks in a row.
100%. Yeah, they're from Canada, and there's something that I'm seeing pretty like a big trend, right? Mitchell Hooper, Pat and Fikowski, and to be honest with you, Pat is like my favorite CrossFit athlete out of all of them. And even listening to like, God, dude, I tried listening to the Coffee Pods and Wads podcast. I tried to listen to it and I could not get through it. I couldn't get through 40, and I'm not talking shit or anything, but I just literally could not get through it. Because I just felt like, I don't know, maybe it gets deeper and better the longer you like listen to it, but I couldn't get through it because I just can't handle the emotional and no like legitimate bearings or anything that they had, like I could not listen to them not talk about anything.
Did you get to the point where Brent had a stroke and they both got up and left their laptops?
I saw that on Hiller's page. Didn't he say that he needed to get a water or something?
Yeah. It looked like Pat was like, what meeting? And then Brent was like, oh shit. And then it looked like he was like trying to text each other really quick. And like, it looked like they got caught with their hand in the cookie jar. And like, that's what makes Pedro good. Is Pedro does a really good of just calmly presenting questions. He is not a big personality. So again, some of his interviews, I think, get missed because he isn't the most entertaining, but he does a very good job of like, we got time and we're going to get the truth, or I'm going to find out if you're not trying to tell it.
Yeah. I saw some people's comments on it say this podcast was so long. This was about an hour into the show. This isn't fair, to Hiller, saying that he shouldn't like like he's having a misrepresentation of what happened because it was like too long of a podcast.
Like
And
they
I'm
can't
kind of
hold their
like,
attention.
well, dude, I'm like, are you retarded? Like, what? How is an hour too long? How is 2 hours too long? Especially when them as trying to be a legitimate governing body or whatever they're trying to be, they should be prepared for the smoke. They should be ready, guns blazing, have answers to the questions. How is an hour too long? An hour into a podcast, you're already losing your mind? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's
The fact
crazy.
that like again, we do or don't know, excuse me, whether they met beforehand or not, right? That kind of came out weirdly. Like if I was Brent, I would be leveraging the fact that we did meet and we did promise us more things. And they said like all these things that we worked towards, and then when it came to game time, like they acted like we never met. Like
Yeah.
that would be the point I would try to make, unless they met and it was just this like open conversation that it sounds like they just keep having. Like, well, we want things more safe, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, okay, well, like, what would you like? And like, more safe. And like, no, 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 but like, what specifically would make it more safe? More safety. It's like,
Dude, duh. More safety. What are you
all
not
right,
understanding?
all right, all right, all right. Yeah, we're on it. And it's like,
Yeah.
bro, that was less safe. And it's like, yeah, man, we really should have took your advice.
Yeah. You know another thing that I was listening to what's the one that you told me to listen to with
Saxon and Angelo
no, I
or
listened to that
Facundo.
Facundo, him. Something that got brought up a few times in that podcast was that the athletes felt scared to talk to Dave or to bring up concerns, right? And so I'm having a very hard time wrapping my head around what exactly they thought would happen if they brought their thoughts up to Dave.
Yeah.
Or what exactly, like, do they think that he's going to have, like, that he's going to beat them up? Or, like, what are you exactly scared of? Because if you qualify for the CrossFit Games, it's not like Dave can just be like, no, you're not in. It's not like he can take your money away. And he sure as hell is probably not going to try to beat up a 35-year-old when he's like 50s or whatever. That's like one of the fittest people on earth. What exactly are you afraid of? And if you really are this like this body of people that are trying to be, again, legitimate and stuff, don't you think it makes you more illegitimate that you're scared of one guy when you're trying to get things passed in a sport? How do you want, like, saying openly, I'm scared to talk to him, or you know, they haven't, but like it's coming down the grapevine, right? That people feel scared. Like, what exactly are they afraid of? I don't get it.
I think it's similar to how people are so quick, and again, we'll use the reference of Trump or whoever.
Hmm.
Like they are quick to throw the word like he's a misogynist or he's a racist. And it's like, well, what has he done? It's like, well, he makes me feel like he probably is, and it's like Facundo explained it like your fear isn't a good enough reason to not follow through.
Yeah,
Like
facts.
you need to act on your fears as an adult, like to see and navigate if it's true or not.
Hmm.
And if you're too scared to do it, that is on you, not on Dave.
You know how they say like drug addicts, like they have a harder time, what's it called? Maturing because they have lost their 20s or their teen years or whatever. You ever heard that?
Yeah,
I
or
feel,
abuse victims.
yeah, or yeah, that too. Just, you know, anybody that deals with some sort of trauma. I almost feel like that's like CrossFitters too,
Yeah.
because they like give a majority of their early adulthood and even like late teen years, or maybe even now just your teen years, you know, as a lot of these athletes do, they give it to a sport fully, and they don't ever have to deal with real world issues or real world problems. They've never had to actually face adversity in the form of like talking to a superior, a boss, or like having a job where they have to answer to somebody and, you know, go to meetings and stuff. So like, so now they don't even know how to communicate properly to get things that they want in place. They're just like you said, just, I want more safety. Well, what does that mean to you? Safety. Dude, read my lips. Read my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna take time. Like nothing is gonna happen like specifically. Like there's not gonna be a measurable action item that everyone's gonna be like, oh sweet, they heard us. Besides Dave getting fired, and that is like again doesn't give us any conviction or certainty that there's actual progress other than someone that is going to be more quick to placate or like appear approachable when they all met with Don last year. There's a video of Don talking to all the athletes being like, hey, we're here to listen, we're here to do this. And it's like, sure, fire Dave. I'm not for it at all, but if they do that, I don't understand how that gives them any certainty of a brighter future or say a safer future.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused with that too. I don't understand how it does that either. I guess. Well, hold on one second, because this is kind of a trend that I'm seeing too, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. But I feel like people are now Team Don during this whole thing, and they were not before. Is that true or no? Or is it just Team CrossFit?
No, I think there's a fracture in CrossFit where there is like old CrossFit. So you got Dave Castro, Adrian Bosman, Chuck Carswell, Nicole Carroll. There's some others still there and whatnot. But I think that people are starting to realize that I think Don is still more Team Dave and those people. And it's his job, I think, to better vocalize what they think. And then there's that other side of it, right? All these new hires are bringing in Annette Rivas, Jenna Hawka, that are more, what sounds like more of these private equity hires of like bullet points that make them valuable, not other factors in CrossFit, the very, I think, intangibly driven success type of business. So I think people are becoming more Team Don because they're realizing that I think Don's going to be more on the side of a Dave. He's got history with Dave. He's military. So I think that's like they're being forced to choose sides. And just like, again, this election, we got two shitty sides. People are going to choose one of the two. And it's like, oh, I didn't think you were going to be for Kamala Harris. And it's like, well, when you put me in this position, I'm going to be Team Kamala or Team Trump, whatever, whatever way you go. Like sometimes you get pushed to empower someone that you wouldn't have said you would have done a year ago.
Sure. Yeah. Are you Team Trump or Kamala?
It's very detrimental for me as a business owner to say that.
Yeah, I'm Kamala for sure. I'm Kamala all the way. On YouTube, Barry McCockiner says, "What's up, dudes? What's up?"
Well, shaking, Barry.
What's up, McCockiner? Dude.
I like that it's.
Oh, he disappeared. Where'd you go, Joe? Where'd you come from? Where'd you go? Where'd you come from, Kana Joe? All right, there you go. You're back. Yeah. What's up, dude?
I'm here to stay.
Yeah, you're here. Good. What were you saying?
I must have said. I laughed because like Barry McCockiner obviously playing on words, but Barry is also the name of the big black guy that was in that meme that people were sharing all the time with the giant hog.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you thought his dick was big?
No, it's massive.
I actually thought it was pretty small, but that's just me.
Are we defining dick the same way?
Yeah. All right, dude, educate me. What else happened in the CrossFit world this week or last week?
Well, I mean, Luca's post came out today.
Yeah, I wanted to wait until we got on here to actually read it, but it seems really long. Can you give me the short, long of it? Pause.
Yeah, I think he really lays out how he feels. He does say in it that he was told by the coroner or something that there wasn't a heart issue. I'm not calling him a liar. To my knowledge, it's still from a Texas public record, not available information. But I don't think anyone is choosing to fall on the sword or not fall on the sword whether there was a heart attack. I think we all believe that he ultimately drowned, and it's a tragedy. And it being a heart attack or not doesn't change anything that we can really make a different case out of this. Mm-hmm. He does say there are some quotes by Dave. And you can tell that Luca is not a fan of Dave in this circumstance, which he's entitled to his opinion. There was a quote, something along the lines of like, they're going back and forth. And he said, Dave said that, well, we want to continue. And then there was another quote that said to Dave, to Luca, like, well, you don't get to make the decision, which some people are taking like, how could he? But it's not Luca's decision to make. Like there's Berkshire, there's the board, there is the entire ecosystem that is CrossFit, the Dickies ecosystem, the vendors. Like I think he reads it in his post that like Dave was like a dick about it, which I wasn't there. Maybe Dave was a dick about it. I couldn't imagine that, but um, I think he was just being forthright of like, hey, we want to do this, we want to be good about it, nice about it, but like if you say we can't run the games, we're gonna run the games. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's got to be like a really hard position to be in for Dave, right? Because like he seems to care about the athletes, at least from an outside looking in, right? And he seems, I mean, he obviously cares about the games because it's his baby. And to be, I really wonder how the conversation went because I don't know. And there's probably a language barrier too, right? Like my dad is full Mexican, right? Straight from Mexico. And I lived with him. I mean, he was in and out, but like at least I have experience with my dad. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
even then, sometimes the language barrier is like hard. The way that it translates, like you don't really like you don't necessarily know like you know what they're saying, but it might come off wrong or
Yeah.
like there's a barrier. And so
Yeah.
like I kind of wonder like what exactly was that conversation like? And was Dave
Right.
like, you don't get to choose? Or was it like, hey man, like I want to hear your opinion, but at the end of the day, like what has to happen still has to happen, that type of thing. And again,
Yeah.
I have no idea. You have no idea. And I'll be the first one to say too, I was hating on Dave like that first day, right? Like I definitely
I was there.
yeah, you were there. I let my emotions get ahead of me too. And like I do still think that he probably is like has some sort of responsibility just to the at least to the public, right? He
Yeah.
probably has some sort of responsibility for sure. But to fire him, when I heard that, I'm kind of like, ooh, yo, you know, like I did say at the Airbnb, I think that he should come forward and take responsibility because I think that's his position as a leader, right? To take some sort of responsibility. As
Yeah.
far as we know, supposedly he did, right? With the athletes. Um, yeah, so I really wonder how the conversation went. We'll probably never know either because it will come from different perspectives rather than what actually happened.
We're starting to get more
Bruce Wayne
because
just asked, "Are we talking about Luca's IG post?" We are, sir. Yes, we
yeah,
are.
I think we're starting to get more differing stories and opinions because the PFA were so forward facing, right? You have Angelo and Saxon that come out. I don't know if you've seen any of the posts by Marco Coppola, but he's shared a lot of his
Yeah, I did.
experiences. He's been sharing a lot of his experiences because he's feeling like the average athlete is being disenfranchised and that vocal minority is trying to appear like they're the majority. So I think we're going to get a much more accurate depiction of what happened as you see people start to be like, dude, this is messed up. That's actually not what had happened. And you're trying to push your agenda like over the reality of what happened. Um,
Mm,
Again, like they met for over 4 hours
yeah.
like
Yep.
that day. Like, and it sounds like Tia wasn't there. Like, no one's upset about that. And again, she's an individual. She's allowed to do what she wants.
I
Um,
actually respect Tia for not going to the meeting.
do what you got to do. It's your
Right.
choice as an athlete. Like,
Well,
just
dude,
stick
and
by it.
to like, I don't know. I don't want to say this and like sound like not sensitive or whatever, but like the fact that she probably knew it wasn't going to be a beneficial like how do I say it? Use of her time. You know, because she probably knows she can't. She's not like she can't do anything about it. CrossFit is gonna do what CrossFit wants to do.
Right.
You know, so like spending your time going there and like especially for people who like didn't even try to make any movement that were at the meeting. You know, they didn't like because all of them are scared of Dave Castro. You know, the really violent weird dude. You know, whatever they're afraid of.
Yeah.
I kind of respect Tia in the sense like, hey, I'm not gonna go. It might not be the best use of my time, and she still honored, you know, Lazar like when everything happened. I don't know, dude. I feel like that sounds insensitive, but at the same time, it's like not that it's a waste of time to honor somebody,
Yeah.
but the meeting, CrossFit will do whatever CrossFit wants to do at the end of the day. They have more people than just the athletes, unfortunately, to answer to.
You know how hard it is as a previous business owner with a business partner, right? You know how hard it can be to make decisions,
No, I thought it was
even when
really
it's
easy,
just,
actually. That's why I still have my gym open.
yeah, right. So again, imagine having 80, God knows how many people actually there that are hyper passionate. Like, there's too many Chiefs, not enough Indians. Like, decisions
Yeah.
aren't going to get made. And Facundo made the point of like, I respect any decision, but I really only respect it if you like stick to it. And he talked
Yes.
about the athletes that decided not to compete, and then they were like standing over the warm up area, like shaming people and talking about like, oh, it must not be that hard for you to compete because you just didn't really know Lazar. And like, it's like, what is your
People said that?
deal? He didn't name names, but he said that basically people that said I'm not competing, and then they basically like hung out the whole weekend, which you can do if you want. But they would like kind of linger by the warm up area and just kind of give this air of like judgment and not supportive. Versus like Laura picked their crap up and left and was gone, and like I
That's
respect that,
respectable. That's
and that just shows someone that's steadfast in their decision making.
bro. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? So like this is the closest experience that I have. One of my no, not one of my best friend's little brother, who I considered my little brother, died of a heroin overdose, okay? Years ago. And do you know what I did the next day? I went to work, dude. I went to work. Like, could you imagine shaming somebody for not going to work? Like, because somebody died? I'm sorry. Yeah, I apologize. It sucks that he passed away. Absolutely. And it sucks the capacity that he passed away was during a competition that you guys are, you need to feel safe or whatever. Some of these people, it's work, bro.
Yeah.
It's work. You can't shame somebody for trying to feed their kids. They might have obligations due to sponsors, or they want to get the bag from CrossFit, whatever it is. So you're going to shame, you don't know anybody's situation. And just because you're set up, because your parents are rich, whatever, you still feed off your mom's her nipple, and all these different things. You have no, like, you don't pay rent, you don't pay any car bills, you don't pay any of this shit. Doesn't mean that you get to shame other people when they come from different circumstances. I grew up dead broke, dude. And if I was in that situation when I was dead broke, I would have competed regardless of if I was going to cry. You saw Justin Medeiros, he set up for life and he was crying on the floor. He did what he needed to do. Oh my God, dude. That really pisses me off. And to think that you're holier than thou because you made a different decision than somebody else, suck a dick. Suck 4 dicks.
Well, they don't have any touch of reality.
No.
Like same exact experience, right? My dad has cancer. We think it's going to be totally good. He's going to do chemo, work his way through it. All of a sudden, the dose is just too much. He gets really sick. He's in the hospital. They're like, he's got 3 days to live. I was at the gym. I coached. The next morning after my dad passed, I coached. Like when you own a business, you don't get bereavement.
No.
And yes, I was sad, but like the show must go on. And if there's anything my dad would have been proud of was doing what I believe in and keeping things in motion and fighting for what I believe in. And that's running a successful business and caring about other people.
Yep.
And people are like, well, how could you work? Your dad just died. Like, well, don't you need time to grieve, or are you okay? And it's like, yes, like I can't bring him back, and it's heartbreaking. But I know that I'm doing what will help me sleep better at night, and that's doing the right thing. And I believe it is the right thing to show up for the people that have paid for memberships and that can lean on me, but also I'm there present and then able to also lean on them. Mm-hmm. If I hole up and just stay in my house, like, I don't think that that's the right support system for me. So it's my choice.
Yeah. Well, think about it too, from like the sense that some people might think it's like selfish that the athletes competed or whatever. Dude, you left for selfish reasons too. It's not better or worse. You're not better for wanting to honor him because whatever, dude. I don't want to spend too much time on this, to be honest with you, because
it's one of those things where there's no wrong decision.
Yeah.
The only wrong decision is casting judgment for people making the decision that they're equally entitled to as you.
Yeah. I'm just going to get too fired off.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne says, yes, that's exactly what I've told people. Castro could have said it in a different way than Luka took it. He was going through the loss of his brother. Most did it to virtue signal. Everyone did it to virtue signal on every athlete, dude. I think so many of these athletes, are so pussy. So pussy. I don't even know how to describe like how, and bear with me for a second. It's like 10% of the athletes that I think that did wrong things, right? Or did things the wrong way. But I think that so many, like for me, when you post something on Instagram, you're looking for validation, right? No matter what, you want the likes. Dude, I'm a podcaster. I'm a coach. So when I post something on Instagram, I'm looking for likes. I need the engagement. I need it to drive business. I need it, all that. So if you are an athlete, and like, I think Chandler Smith did it right because he asked the question at the end. He's like, what can I do to help support the community, basically, right? Some of the stuff in his post, I was like, but then at the end of it, I was like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
But then some of these athletes, like, just, I don't know. I don't know how to word it, dude. They just posted things like, why don't you turn off your comments and your likes then? Like, let's turn this shit off. Let's not virtue signal. Turn off the comments, turn off the likes, and boom, you're done. Like, dude, that the week before, I think I talked about this on a podcast before or live before, my dog died. Like, I had to put my dog down, my best friend, right? I didn't post shit on Instagram. I didn't post shit on Facebook. I didn't put, because I'm not looking for any validation from people because of my dog dying, Heather posted something and was like, hey, send JQ, love or whatever. Cool. That's great. I love that she did that. But me personally, I'm not going to go I'm not going to go out of my way to post something about somebody that I've lost or anything like that, because this is me. It's mourning for me. And it's, I have to spend time with my community of people, my mom, my brother, my mom, my girlfriend, my son, her daughter, so that we can get through it together. I'm not looking for likes from people in that department.
And it's one of those things where it's just like, you see those people that are so quick to do that. And then they lean against it so massively for support. And it's like, I just think it's so dangerous to create a life that is so dependent on whether they press that like button or not. And then when it comes down to it, these people then, in lieu of that, have such little emotional intelligence.
Yep.
And they want this like quick feedback loop of like, when this shit happens, like real life happens, people don't know how to act.
Dude, yes. Yes. On YouTube, Travi Vindicate, hi kids, Joe, how dare you think without emotion? And then he says, anything posted on social media is for attention, whether you like it or not. If you didn't want the attention, you wouldn't post it. Exactly. That's my point. Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, I see the trend of most people typically post things that they don't commonly do. So when I see, like, even my own members, when I see them like post a story of them eating really good, I find that to be like, oh, I ate something good. Let me make sure I share that. And like, I see that, like, it's not someone having a good routine and them highlighting how on top of it, it's like, oh, they finally meal prepped and they want to take a picture and show me and present it like they're really on top of it. Where like, I look at it the other way, where it's like, if I post something, I'm going to post some just wicked cheat meal that I'm about to gorge on because I'm excited to enjoy it. And that's a rare occurrence. And sure, I want to show that like I'm okay with some balance.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Social media sucks.
Social media is like a gift and a curse for sure. It's good because it does this for us, right? Brings people together, but also it does a really good job at like pulling people apart too. Marco though, his videos were solid. Heather and I were watching it on the plane back from Legends Championship, CrossFit Games, for the geriatric folks. And
dude, the roided out geriatric folks. Holy moly, there's some big dudes.
What are you talking about, dude? I didn't see anybody with anything.
No, man, just 450-pound front squats, just aging gracefully into their 40s.
You should have seen some of these women too, dude. Oh my God, I was losing my mind. I was like, how do they not make them piss in a cup right now? What is happening?
I know. We are failing the eye test miserably.
Yes.
I mean, dude. I felt the same way when we were at Legends in Arizona. I'm like, I'm going to have a hard time competing in these divisions.
Yeah. You know how this could be solved, though?
Reduce the drug testing protocol?
Just let it be freaking be, dude. Just freaking let it be. Let them take the drugs. Dude, that's why baseball got so interesting. Why don't we just let them all do drugs, dude?
The 90s were good times.
Hell yeah, they were. Okay. Yeah, his videos were so freaking good, dude. And I do want to talk about some of the virtue signaling and the bullying that took place. What did you think? Dude, I can't. He might as well have just said Noah Olson's team.
Yeah, Yeah.
Did you watch Noah's video?
No, I watched just a little bit and I was like, I don't know if I can sit through this. I just feel like everything he's doing now is not because he wants to. It's like, what do I need to present myself as a business or personality to present and placate what people need to hear so then I
Mm,
have respect? Like, I just couldn't. I
yeah.
might. Thank you.
I think truly that Noah is like a good dude, probably,
Yes.
and he doesn't want to like offend anybody, and maybe that's why he's so careful with his words.
Yeah.
Um, but I think there's a difference between being liked and being respected.
Yes.
And one thing, I don't know how much respect you will get if you just always are looking to appease the mob, to appease the crowd. So it's like with what gets me kind of weird is why do they always want to appease to the more emotional people rather than the rational? And so something that came up in the Facundo, that's his name, right?
Uh-huh.
In that podcast, they talked about like Rich and him hunting for bear and how supposedly that would be offensive to the world or something. And so I'm kind
Mm-hmm.
of like, why are we even talking about the people that would be offended? Why are we even having conversation with them? Because nothing ever positively happens from the people that only think and move with emotion rather than taking, like, dude, because again, when we were at the CrossFit games, I was emotional. I was in emotion. I was
Yeah.
yelling and talking about it. But like that's to my friends, right? We're
Yeah.
talking, we're having like a somewhat logical discussion with emotion, it's emotionally driven, but then we're able to discuss the ideas. But taking a step back and then waiting another couple weeks to actually go live and on a podcast and really talk about it
Yeah.
before I put it out in the public, right? And so I just don't even understand why they even try with
I
the emotional people.
I think it's because the emotional people have a significantly higher amount of engagement.
Hmm.
So when you're trying to speak to like me, for example, I would say 98 times out of 100, when I see a post that really pisses me off, I will pull out my phone. I will type the response that I feel is going to really blow their mind. Then I delete it and I move on with my life because I know that they're not going on to social media to have their opinion changed. They're
Yeah.
going on social media to have their anger echoed. And so, like every time the 2 times out of 100 that I'm like, this, and this, I don't think that's appropriate. This, and this. This is why I think this way. This, and this. Like, what are your thoughts?
Sure.
And then I
Yeah.
get sucked into the next 9 back and forth. So, like, dude, why did I do that? This was a giant waste of time.
Yeah, it kind of is a waste of time, right? Because it's like so many people get to hide behind the screen and the keyboard and they don't like there's never actual real conversation that happens because there's no like legitimate discourse where like you and I can hear each other's tone and how can we de-escalate or how can we escalate the situation. Rather, people just get to escalate the situation no matter what behind a keyboard because let's be honest, right? First, Logan says emotional people are the loudest and make it seem like they are the majority. Yeah, absolutely. But let's be
Mm-hmm.
honest, when you and I are in a room, right? And not just you and I, but like two dudes are in a room or even two chicks, whatever it is, there's always like that little threat of violence. Like there could be violence here, right? But when people are on the keyboard or behind a screen, there's no threat of violence. So they don't have to be careful with the way that they speak. And most of those people too don't actually believe strong enough or don't have enough information to actually like make a legitimate argument in person. So they're able to articulate it better over a keyboard or behind a screen because number one, they're not in the fear of possible violence. And number two, they don't actually have to have the emotion because nothing's going to happen to them just typing something and sending it your way anyways.
I think look at Brent on the podcast versus Brent typing something.
I don't really know what he typed, like any
Well, I'm
comments
saying
or
like
anything.
Brent when he speaks on Instagram,
Yeah.
it's very articulate, very well spoken, very thought out, very methodical.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
on that podcast, man, like it got a little bit like
Yeah.
shades of gray and emotional. And like Brent was like, "Let me jiggle my glasses so I look smart, and then I'm gonna talk." And then I'm like, I'm having a brain fart. I don't
Yeah.
come across as intelligent. Let me get some water. This is going on really long."
Yeah.
And again, that's fine, but it's like all these skills need to be practiced. And I
Right.
think all these people sit behind keyboards and that's practice. And then you get in front of people and you're like, you're really bad at this communication, leadership, holding the room thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you're our guy.
Well, yeah. Like when you're confronted in person or a conversation, like you don't have the information at your fingertips, right? Like you don't get to be like, wait, hold on a minute, I need to go on Google and make sure that I can, fact check myself. Like this is real conversation. You need to have facts. You need to have the information present in your brain, or the conversation doesn't move. Nothing happens from it. But like again, Brent, I to be fair, again, I didn't really I could not get to a point of listening to the whole Coffee Pods thing. And so, so if Brent was that way, it's because, look, he's confronted. He might've been asked uncomfortable questions like immediately. And he's like, oh shit, I don't have 10, 20 minutes to think about a response and then send it forward. On YouTube, CrossFit says the blonde girl from Peak 360 quotes, and he goes,
Elena Richter.
Yeah, he goes, I think Noah's a good dude, but likes being the good dude, so always does things to appear the good dude. Yeah, absolutely. I think so too.
Yeah.
And I legitimately do think that he is that guy that's like, man, I really don't want to offend anybody, because he just wants to be, like he's saying, a good dude.
I don't think anyone is truly coming from a bad place. Yeah. It's just misplaced emotion and misplaced goodwill. When you don't know what you stand for, like you're constantly just pivoting on the actions in which you're trying to do right by people.
Well, that's another thing too, right? Just because you might not be coming from a bad place doesn't necessarily mean that you're coming from a good place either. It just means that you're coming from a place, right?
Like, and if you want to be selfish, but say, hey, for me, I need this money. Just like that Facundo said with Roman, or it might have even been Saban. Mm-hmm. But there was the point that like Roman went to Dave and Roman basically just said, Dave, just make the decision.
Yeah.
Because we've been sitting in this room for 4 hours. Yeah. And like, it's kind of funny because you kind of see like, well, is that a communist way of looking at things? Like just let the government make the decision for the people? Or is it like him being like, man, this democratic process is a mess. Someone just needs to decide so we can get back to doing what we need to do, work.
Well, I think also like as the athletes, they look to Dave as a leader, whether they like to believe it or not. They're looking to him as a leader. So like just make the decision so that we can do the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's touch on, what's that little girl's name?
Lena Richter. I got 5 minutes.
I got 5 minutes.
In class. Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's touch on that real quick. What did you think about that story with Marco?
It is hard. Again,
Travis said, I heard Dave was considering canceling, and Roman walked up to him and said, I will break you. All right, go ahead. What were you saying?
Yeah. It's one of those things where, like, I think Lena was just being emotional and bratty. And that's how that always comes across, man. Like, you just get people that are a little too spoiled, or maybe just always got their way, prom queen or whatever. They were always the cool kid. Like, everyone just went with what they said. Yeah. And she's just conditioned to be like, I'm this cute little thing. Like, let's just do what I want.
Yeah.
And then she just goes off of all she knows. And what she knows is like, hey, people are going to listen to me. I'm Lena. Like, I'm special. Like, come listen. And let's just do this, right? Like, it'll be good.
Yeah.
It's like, sorry, this is the real world. Like, you can't get by your good looks and cute little ways of going about it.
Whoa, wait, hold on. Give me a second.
Yep.
What the heck?
Change your battery, bro. Change or charge.
Dude, I didn't have a freaking... Oh, that's stupid.
Travis, Justin is such a professional. It sucks that this is the only podcast I can get on. Are you getting a battery? You got a backup? You're booting. No signal.
Okay. What would the show be without like a dead battery or something go wrong?
Yeah, man. It would be professional. You should get the PFA to help you.
I should get them because they probably could. Oh my gosh. CrossFit goes high-tech stuff. Yeah. Yeah,
just be more prepared. Well, what do I need to do to be more prepared? Just be more prepared. Preparation is key. Like, just look it up in the dictionary. Preparation, read it, put it on your wall, and then you'll be it.
And you'll figure it out. Oh
Oh,
my gosh,
can I just
that's
have some
funny.
steps as what that would be, like a charged battery and a backup? No. Just be more prepared. You'll be fine.
No, just be more prepared. That's all you need. Oh man, yeah, I think you're right though about what's her name again, dude? She's
Lena Richter, I believe, is the one. Yes.
okay. It just is so irrelevant to me. So I don't, man. When she said that he was bullying her, dude, I lost my mind. I was laughing so freaking hard that she said that he was bullying her because he wasn't like just submitting to what she wanted. I couldn't believe it. It's just a perfect representation of how the hierarchy of we are the best because we virtue signal and you suck because you're standing on 10 toes and you know what you actually want, but we don't actually know what we're standing for.
When you are not able to articulate and communicate how you feel, you just revert to those things. He's just a bully. He's just a misogynist. He's just a
Yeah.
racist. It's like, or
Yep.
this isn't safe. It's like, well, can you please articulate why you feel that way? It's just not safe. He's just a racist. He's just a bully. It's like, no. Just can you elaborate on like what he's doing? Is he like, this is just tone? Is he being loud? Is he closing distance on you as he speaks? Like, what is it? No, he's just such a bully. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, how insightful. Thank you. Leave.
You know what's interesting though is like Hiller pulled up that dude's Instagram and I like really believe that dude's account for everything just because of how like calm and the tone that he took when he made the videos. But what's interesting is like one of the first things that I saw on his YouTube page when Hiller pulled it up was something about stoicism. And so I was like, oh, this makes sense. A lot of the things that he's talking about, like how he doesn't like to deal with emotional people or people who can't who can't actually articulate things, people who just, whatever. I'm like, oh, this dude actually practices stoicism. So who are we going to believe? The little girl who pulled up on him and was like, hey, yeah, so we're all going to take a minute and you need to take a minute. Are we going to are we going to listen to the dude who actually practices, being legit?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. All right, you got to go.
I got 2 minutes, but like one thing I will bring up
Yeah.
that we'll end on is, and see if, I mean, not, there's a ton of people on here, but I would love to try to find a way to go back and rehash what happened. I think it was the 2014 games. So the story goes like this: is Noah's a rookie, does really, really well. It's Rich's last year. And somehow, some way, I believe that, again, Rich and Noah dab up at the end of it. And Noah
I heard they kissed.
supposedly says that, yeah, he gave him a butterfly kiss, so rub his eyelashes on him, and then said like something along the lines of, you're next. And then Noah shares the story, and then it comes out after the fact, I believe, that Rich was like, bro, I did not say that. And it's one of those things where I just feel like Noah sometimes just gets caught up in the wanting to be liked, that like he just maybe embellishes a little too much or misconstrues something and says it like that's what happened. And then it's like, dude, you got egg all over your face, bro. Like, maybe don't share every little detail with the world for your benefit. And sometimes that's a smart way to go, because then if you misspeak, you're not going to get put on a cross that you didn't intend to be on.
Yeah, and I mean also too, kind of like with the Luca and Dave thing, it could have just been a simple miscommunication. Maybe Rich did say something that was akin to that, but he didn't mean like you're next up, for the podium.
Right. Like you could just mean like, hey, I'm out, so you could be next. Like the opportunity's yours.
Right. Yeah.
Not like you're the heir to the throne. Like I
passing down the crown. Yeah. Yeah, who knows, man? These people are weird. So anyway, thanks for hopping on, dude.
Anytime.
Peace out, brother. Have a good class.
Deuces.
Run that business. Make $1 million.
Nasty cardio day to day.
Oh.
Hope I get some pukey.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Be good.
Send me a picture if you do make somebody puke.
All
right,
bye.
Later. Bye. I name you my fitness successor, weirdo kid who should be named Chad. Yeah, dude, that's hilarious. But let's be honest. Noah is the representation of a Chad. He is a Chad for sure. Hey, Travis, are you still in here? Do you want to hop on with me? Travie from Vindicate, you want to hop on? I'm going to text you. Send it. Let's go. All right, I'm going to send you the link. in a couple seconds here. Copied. Let's go. All right. Check your email in T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Wait, no, never mind. Hold on. You guys, I'm going to get Travis from Vindicate on the horn right now. So give me... Dude, what's your email, bro? What is happening? There we go. Got it. I don't want to hop off quite yet. All right, I sent it, bruh. Travis from Vandicate. Imagine Travis had a white van that he went around the country in and had all of his shirts and stuff. Dude, that would be sick, bro. You should have a white van, like, yeah, and put all your merch in it. That'd be dope. And then stop around. I don't know. That's how Nike started. Is that actually? That's really. All right, guys, we're putting Travi in right now. What's up, dude?
You want me to get a white van?
I personally, hold on. Let me make sure that you're.
Yeah, is this working? Or are we going to sit through 20 minutes of bullshit again?
I think we might have to do the bullshit. Dude, your camera looks really good. Are you using your Mac?
Yeah, this is my regular MacBook.
Whoa, okay. Paulina says
I
it
did.
was good.
I got my internet hopefully fixed not too long ago, so maybe it's a little better signal.
Oh yeah, because you had the outage, right?
Yeah. Had the outage and I was losing internet like 5 times a day.
Dude, you're in Tornado Valley, aren't you?
I don't know if we are. We're close.
Heather and I have been like almost every night watching tornado chasers on YouTube.
Dude, it's fun, isn't it?
It's so sick, but
it's so stupid scared that we actually sit and watch people riding in their cars.
Yeah, dude.
But when they find one, it's really fun.
Yes, this video is an hour long. It took us like 4 days.
Who are you watching?
Tornado Alley. What did I say?
What did I didn't know what the. I just thought you were
Valley.
Watching somebody.
Oh, there's a guy. We were. I don't know who it is, but it was an hour long, so it took us 4 days to get through this. But finally at the end, he like found this big son of a gun, and we're like, oh, that was worth the 4 days that we spent watching this stupid thing.
We were getting storms here, so it started to feed into my YouTube deal. There's a guy called Reed Timmer, and they're like super over the top with their reactions and everything.
Yeah.
And they have an actual like storm chaser vehicle called the Dominator that like sits low to the ground and all that stuff. And they will literally drive right into it. They don't care.
That's good. Oh yeah, because don't they have like the spikes or something that go into the ground too?
I don't have the spikes. It just sits, excuse me, super low so the air can't get underneath it. It's pretty wild.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah, those guys
like they're pretty though. Tornadoes.
Oh yeah, it's cool when you see it.
Yeah, but it's like so, dude. We had like 2 tornado warnings last year. One was in winter, funny enough, but and it was pretty bad. But dude, I was scared out of my mind, dude. I don't like the thought of having to deal with it. That's part of the reason why like I don't like going to Joplin for Monster Games, only because I heard of that one tornado.
They got wiped out.
Yeah.
Speaking of Monster Games, do you see they're changing the location?
Yeah.
I'm not so happy about that.
Why not?
Because I'm pretty sure it's in Hagerstown, Maryland. That's what I saw on their most recent post.
Oh.
You know something and I don't, and I'm not happy about it.
I know.
Yeah, I saw that look on your face.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything.
Their last post, it looked like they were looking at like Hagerstown, Maryland. I'm like, well, that's too far away. I don't like that.
Constantly varied, dude. They have to keep you guessing.
We'll talk off air.
Yeah, we'll talk.
So Paulina, shut your mouth, by the way. You should send her a link.
Yeah, Paulie, you should get on. You want to get on? Anyway, go ahead.
I made Paulina and Gabe sad yesterday. I was sad too. Because Wadapalooza changed their dates in January.
Yeah, Heather showed me that. It's on
I'm not happy about that.
Can you?
I have a competition booked already that weekend.
You do? Dang, which one?
It's called...
You're out. You left. Something just happened. Okay, you're back.
No, you're back.
What?
You disappeared.
I did too? Dude, whatever.
Your
I'm gonna get
connection
this
keeps
off of
going in and
everybody
out.
else. CrossFit goes, this thing, I'm not happy about that. Vindicate probably. We only lost Travis. All right, they only lost me. Okay.
Oh, weird.
All right. So
Okay.
what is it, a big comp?
Yeah, it does really well.
Yeah.
It's a big team competition, and it's only 2 hours away, so I can go to Wadapalooza, maybe make money, or go to the circus and make a lot of money.
Yeah, make a lot of money
Yeah,
instead.
I like money. Money's good.
Are you going to Cali?
No. My daughter's got a volleyball tournament that same weekend. So no Cali.
Yeah, that's all right.
No.
We like
it's
doing
bad.
stuff for family.
It's very bad. Gabe just texted me and said, "Who the fuck said I was sad?"
Is he watching?
Gabe has no emotions.
Well, dude, why don't you just tell your daughter that to deal with it? Like, you don't care,
Right?
Just
I know.
come to Wada.
F these kids.
Yeah. Oh
No.
man. Yo, dude, tell me how much you've been keeping up with all this CrossFit drama. What do you think about
Oh, I've kept up with all of it.
Yeah.
I'm just like I was in the comments early, and then was like, okay, just wait till facts are known.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like what you guys were saying with hearing what Lucas said, and with being from a different country, you know, are things getting lost in translation? I don't know. I mean, it's not like he doesn't know English.
Yeah.
But are things getting lost in translation?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a recount of what he had in a very emotional weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to it's like I'm trying not to dismiss anybody. And with what I read on his post is like, ooh, ouch.
Like, okay, so can you take me through the post a little bit more, or should I actually read it on air? I don't feel like
you actually have to read it because my memory sucks and I'm not good at recounting everything.
Okay.
It was and I think kind of like what you guys said with it's not up to you. Like if somebody just said that, like it sounds very harsh.
Yeah.
But was there other conversation around that? We don't know.
Yeah, and I think that's the tough part too, dude, because like I brought up before, my dad is straight from Mexico, right? Like he jumped the border, right? And so like, and I grew up with this dude.
Every time you say you're Mexican, I just laugh. I'm like, no, you're not.
You're like, what? Say hola.
Yeah, right?
Say it one time. And so my brothers, my dad, they all came from Mexico, right? They have their green cards and shit, like true Mexicans. And but even me growing up with them, like sometimes I just don't understand what they're saying, you know, and like it's tough because you get the gist of what they're saying, but it's like sometimes it will come off wrong or bad or whatever, but they don't even mean it to be wrong or bad. So I wonder if that's what's happening in translation, you know, between Dave and Luca. And it could be, or it also could just not be. Like Dave could also just be a total asshole, you know?
Right.
But I don't think that we'll ever really know the fine details between any of that.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
I don't
hard,
either.
dude. What do you,
It's such an emotional thing. Like from the beginning, it's been, you're never going to win.
Yeah.
No matter what side you're on, you're never going to win. People are going to be mad no matter what. I mean, I had some posts that I had made, and I had posted Dave's logo, and I said, I don't have any ties with Dave, but until things are known, I'm not going to throw him under the bus and all that. And I had people arguing with me. And then I had somebody like literally DMs me the post of that Luca made. And I'm like, okay, are you happy now? Like what?
Yeah, right.
What are you trying to get out of this? Are you going to be mad at me if I don't agree with you? Like, how is this affecting your life at all?
100%. Yeah, dude. 100%
Period.
agree with that. Yeah.
And you are getting so upset.
Yeah. And also I would just love to like know, right? I would love to know what the motivation is, number one. And then number two is like, what's the outcome that they would prefer then? Like who takes over, you know, and how much do they like, you know how I always say that like CrossFitters are just like, they're bought into this thing for whatever reason. Like, it's just like, I don't get it. It's like a cult. I like, But what would you do without Dave Castro? Or like, because I personally do not know, but it seems like everybody loves Dave Castro for the nostalgia. I think that CrossFitters are really stuck in nostalgia.
Mhm.
But then what happens once Dave Castro is gone? Who comes in? Are you ever going to be satisfied is what my question is, because before everybody wanted Dave back in. Now that something bad happened, everybody wants Dave out. And like I said before, I'm totally like number one willing to be like, hey, I threw him under the bus immediately. You were there. You were there like for the CrossFit Games. I was like, not that I threw him under the bus, but I was like, I think that he needs to like take responsibility over this because he's the leader, blah, 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 blah. And then the more I think about it, it's like, I don't know, like who actually drives the ship? Who drives the ship? That's the CrossFit Games. And if you guys want CrossFit to be healthy and thriving and the sport to continue, does it completely flop because Dave's gone? That's not an answer that I have, but these are questions that you should probably be asking. Does it flop?
Right.
Do we want the sport to thrive? Do we want it to keep going? Because I don't know what the infrastructure is like. None of these people know what the infrastructure is like. So is Dave leaving the best thing? Who knows? Vic off the vine on Instagram. Go ahead.
What's that?
Go ahead. I was going to read a comment.
Just with the direction that things have gone, and again, I don't know. No, nobody knows unless you're there. It's like Dave seems to be the glue holding it together, the company as a whole, and keeping it somewhat CrossFit-y, like it was. Can't say like it used to be, or like it was really, because it's not. But it's like Dave's are the last beacon of hope.
Sure.
For it possibly staying together.
Did you watch did you watch Spencer and is it Spencer? Is it Spencer
Saxon and Angelo.
Did you watch that?
Yeah.
What'd you think about that?
That was great.
Was there anything that like stuck out to you that they said?
I mean, the biggest thing to me is it's, and I also heard it with Facundo. It seems like the vast majority of athletes were in favor of continuing. And I think that can be part of it. And it's too early to say that with Dave saying it's not your decision because they didn't have the meeting or anything like that. But like Joe was saying, there are a lot of factors that have to be considered when you think about continuing on or not.
Yeah, for sure.
And yes, it's not your decision.
Yeah.
I'll listen to you and I'll hear you and I'll respect you, but you don't get the final say in whether it's going to continue or not.
Well, yeah, 100%. Like, so that's like kind of a question that I have is, all these athletes, like they keep appealing back to, he asked Luca if it was okay, but like, what did they think? Did they think that Dave could just be the one that cancels it because of Luca? Like, is that what they think? Is that what they thought? Because again, do they know anything about the structure? Do they know anything about how they put on the event? So like, I can't believe that, not to be offensive to the athletes, but I cannot believe that they're stupid enough to think that Dave is the one who calls all the shots on whether or not the games went on or didn't that weekend. Like, there's no way they're that dumb.
Yep. I go back to what I've pretty much said from the beginning is if there was a safety protocol that was required and they didn't follow it, then that's a whole other story.
Yeah, but then
they, like in Luca's post, he said it was a volunteer on the paddleboard. Okay. Is that all they needed to have? Like, was there a requirement that you needed certified lifeguards on paddleboards?
Right.
If not, this company's trying to save money. They're not going to pay to have certified people out there.
Right. But, and also too, right, to act as if Dave needs to take the brunt of all that, as if like, we don't know. Like, Dave could maybe just be the guy who only programs and he doesn't take care of any of the other stuff. Now, I think it's a different story if Dave programs and then he also knows the safety protocols and this isn't going to be safe and then he continues that programming. That's different. But like, if Dave, if his higher ups are like, hey, everything's in place, program what you need to program, we'll take care of it. Okay, Dave's just going to program what he needs to program,
Yep.
And I've changed my mind on this. I was a lot harsher about that, obviously when everything happened initially, but now like, yeah, it's like he's going to program what he thinks is most interesting, what he believes is the actual test of fitness, all these things. So I don't know. It just seems really corny that these people are like, throw them out, like,
Yeah,
and
and nobody knows who's in charge of all that stuff. And CrossFit's not,
right.
as much as you want an answer, they're not going to come out and say it. They're in a possible lawsuit. They aren't going to say anything.
No, hell no. Why would they? And I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. You tell me how you feel about this. Do you think CrossFit owes the public any explanations? The public. Athletes, I think they owe explanations to. And by chance, once the athletes get the information, for sure it's going to go public. But do you think that CrossFit in itself, an entity, owes the public an answer or any of this information?
I don't think words like owes and deserves and things like, no, you don't owe or deserve anything.
Yeah, right.
No, I don't think to satisfy emotions, sure.
Right.
But again, they're not going to say anything.
Yeah. It's
it may never come out. You're just going to end up, in the end, you're going to have half the people pissed off and half of them happy.
Well, it's tough too, because it's like you're talking about like an actual business entity, but also people that define themselves as CrossFitters as a community. And again, the separation between those two things, between the three pillars of CrossFit that I think there are, athletes, corporation, and then community, the lines are so blurry that people that like are your 6 a.m. CrossFitters at CrossFit Kenosha, shout out, right? Just think that they deserve all the information because they identify with CrossFit. Mm-hmm. But that'd be like people asking you who your manufacturers are and thinking that they deserve the information because they bought from you,
Yeah. And what you're going to start seeing now, and I've already seen it, and it annoys me. And it's people that I know, people that I've liked and had a relationship with, is you're starting to see I've kept quiet until now, and now that I see this, here's my thoughts. Why?
Yeah.
Why are you bothering?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because you want to put your voice out there. Again, social media, it's for attention.
Yeah. Well, it comes back to a point that I made a few weeks ago, actually, that Facundo also said on the podcast with Savan, was that, so now that the weekend's done and you got your checks and you got your trophies and you were happy and you were celebrating, now that that's all done, now you're going to go out and just make a big mess about it and noise about it. It's like,
yeah,
dude, it's so corny. Like watching, like, honestly, I think that what Pat and what Fikowski are doing is a good thing. The timing is really, really weird. Yeah. And it's really opportunist. It's like, okay, good. We can use this to push the agenda that we have. And to say that it's anything but that is just, it's not true. It's unhonest. It's dishonest. Like why, if you had all these concerns, Fikowski, why didn't you just drop out? Because I would have agreed with you. If he would have just dropped out and been like, hey, we've been asking for this for forever.
That would have made a statement.
Exactly.
I said that. It's like all the athletes that are crying like crazy now, like you could have dropped out.
Right.
You had the option.
They
you
needed
can't
to make
cry
the
about
bag
it
first.
after the fact. And I really liked. I didn't know the way Facundo's interview was going to go. I liked the way his interview went.
Yeah, I do too.
Aside from the family, he's probably the closest to Lazar. I mean, he was his coach.
Yeah.
And he was very matter of fact. Like,
was he still his coach?
I think he was still his coach.
Okay.
Yeah. If not, it was recent. Because I know he had left Mayhem, but it sounded like he didn't want to be at Mayhem because Roman was there. And he didn't want to be in the same area as somebody he was directly competing with. But I think Facundo was still his coach.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of weight in the words. And he would seem to be on the same page as Rich and Angelo and Saxon.
Well, what I really liked about Facundo's interview too was that he seemed to be, I don't want to say neutral, but he didn't talk out of term. He was like, this is my experience. This is what I think happened. You know what I mean? So even Savan would try to get him, on a couple of things. And then Facundo would be like, I can't speak to that because, and I think that was super good. I even have it pulled up on my phone still, just because I'm not done quite yet.
CrossFit says he was not the coach this year for Lazar.
Facundo was no longer coach for Lazar this year.
And like he said there, City of Fort Worth could have sued the games for canceling and breach of contract. And there's a lot of vendors, partners that possibly could have done that. We don't know any of those contracts.
Yeah, that's true. Hold
And
on.
I hate like people get so angry that you can't make it about money. I'm like, I'm sorry, this is business.
I'm just gonna,
It is what
yeah,
it is.
I'm gonna be straight up about that. That is the most retarded statement I've ever heard in my life. Like, there are some companies that went there with the only money that they had,
Yep.
and to expect them to need to pack up and leave over, not to sound insensitive again, but like somebody
I know.
that they do not know. You know what I mean? Like, they're there to make their nut. Like, they're there to like make a name for themselves, and they can think that it's really sad, and they can be, they can be empathetic towards everybody's loss and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, dude, like, what are they supposed to do? Even if CrossFit decided we're going to do this a different weekend, we're going to have you come out for free, you don't have to pay for the booth again. Bro, that still means that they have to make sure that they have product, that they are able to drive there, that they have travel,
Yeah, you
all
got
these different things. Yeah, and people act as if every small business has a couple $1 million in the bank.
Yep.
And it's just not true. Like, I had a gym, and we all know gyms aren't they're the least profitable business that you can own for the most part, right? I had a gym, and people would always ask me for free shit. And I'm like, well, dude, do you think I'm a millionaire owning a gym right now? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you saying? And so, yeah, dude, to expect it, don't make it about money. That is just ridiculous. That's not even, CrossFit says could argue force. What is that?
I'd argue that I knew what it was.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Don't bring your big words into this.
Yeah, dude, come on. What, you act like you graduated at Yale, dude. Vic on Instagram says, in the moment, you may only hear certain statements, so what you may hear resonates more. Absolutely. The other point to make is that using, in quotes, the family as a reason to continue is a dirty tactic. CrossFit may not need Luca's permission or their family, but don't go using them as the should to go on. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah, I think that a lot of people put like a lot of weight on what Luca said, like whether he gave the blessing or not. And it's like, yeah, dude, like, cool. He might give the blessing, to go on or not, but that doesn't mean that CrossFit is not gonna supersede that.
Right.
Oh, he said it's a legal term for act of God to get out of contracts. Lots of companies use this, use the pandemic in that way. Huh. Okay.
And I think it could have been something where, and I don't know what their contracts were. Usually with a vendor agreement, like you can't leave early. So there could have very easily been CrossFit saying, hey, if a vendor feels like leaving early, you're not going to get your money back, but we're not going to hold you to staying.
Yeah.
Like, because I know some of them, there'll be a penalty. If you leave early, you're going to pay.
Actually?
Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, you're there. They have people, the public is there. The, vendor or spectators are there to see these companies, and then they're just gone. And people are like, what the fuck? I thought these people were going to be here. Is one of the reasons I came.
I guess, yeah, that's part of the experience.
Yeah, it's all part of the experience. So that's certainly something they could have waived. I don't know if they offered that up or not.
Huh. That is kind of interesting, though, isn't it? Like, they're paying to be there, and so if they decide to not use their time that they paid for, you're going to get a fee.
You get dinged, and I mean, you're disrupting the experience because you're packing all your shit up.
Yeah.
Now there's an empty space.
Yeah.
Aesthetically, it can mess all that up.
Yeah. It can.
So that like I said, that's something that they could have easily offered to people. I don't remember if we talked about it last time, but I brought it up in some different chats with the thing that annoyed me with certain athletes is the ones that pulled out and then stuck around. And whereas in Vendor Village, hanging out in Vendor Village, hey, come buy my product.
Wait, that happened? Who?
I won't say who it is.
Oh, come on, dude. Give me the dirt.
Somebody that I liked. And I was like, oh, man, I saw that. Like, come on.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Probably. Mm-hmm. That one bummed me out. It's like, if you are this distraught, just go home.
Yeah, well, go home or stay and be part of the community rather than trying to pimp your product, right?
Yeah.
I think that CrossFit just
I didn't think it'd take much.
yeah. Oh man,
I was
yeah, that's a
disappointed on
toughie.
that one.
That's a toughie because like I think that if they dropped out and went and hung out in Vendor Village and were just like chilling with people, taking pictures and doing their due diligence that way, like I don't see anything wrong with that, right? Like especially if you want to be there just to help support the community or whatever. But yeah, telling people to come buy the product or, you know, stuff like that, like people are going to be way more enticed to come buy your product if you are actually physically there, right? Like Travis, you're a superstar and you're famous. So like when you're actually at your booth, people are going to be more likely to come and buy something after they've talked to you rather than just like, but no, seriously though, but imagine
Such a superstar. I'm at my booth because I'm the one who has to sell it.
Yeah. Well, imagine that you're not at your booth, right?
Right.
People are going to be less likely to actually buy the product. Like some people actually do like you as a person, right? And they know who you are and you don't know who they are because you've been on, you know, chats or different shows or whatever. So they know Travis. And if they get to be there and talk to you and then you're like, yeah, what do you like, you know, whatever. And you like show them your product, they're going to be more likely to buy something rather than if they didn't know you as a personality at all.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about that with another company in the space, a bigger company, apparel company. And I'm like, you know, I've never seen the actual owner at their booth at any event. And that I was like, huh, that's really odd. You know, especially at the games.
Yeah.
Games and Wadapalooza. Those are the two big showcases, and the owner I've never seen there.
I think that, well, is it an owner that is like forward facing in the community?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vocal, forward facing, has a podcast. Like people would know him if they saw him.
Oh,
and I've never seen him there. I'm like, well, that's kind of strange.
I think I know who you're talking.
Dude,
check this.
I'm a small company. I can do whatever the hell I want.
Yeah, dude.
I don't have a bunch of meetings and all that shit to attend to. I can do whatever I want.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Well,
I'm angry because CrossFit has posted that he or she was at the games, and I have no idea who this person is. And it's driving me nuts.
Is CrossFit, are you like a mysterious, like famous chatter?
Oh yeah.
Is he? He's infamous.
He or she knows things, and I don't know who this person is, and it's driving me crazy.
They know things. What do you mean?
Yeah, they post hints or comments, like in the chat.
They have insider knowledge.
I think they have some knowledge.
CrossFit, hop on live with us right now.
Gonna wear a mask.
He said
now they're asking for.
Yeah.
Does this owner blog? Does he travel with his? No.
So CrossFit also said, I wonder if it was to support the community or give people something happy to see. Yeah, I mean,
very well could be. Maybe I'm being overly judgy. That when I saw the product photo, I was like, come on.
Dude, I mean, I'm super judgmental with like everything that the athletes did the past 4 weeks, because I just think that so many of them are looking for claps and likes and all this stuff, and it's just like so disingenuous. And I'm very disappointed in a lot of the athletes, and some of them, like Travis Mayer, I think handled it super well. Pat Vellner, to be completely real with you, dude, and he was close to Lazar, right? I think that he did amazing that weekend with how he did it, because he didn't post shit. All he did was just post the link for the, was it Patreon or what was the
GoFundMe?
Yeah, all he did was that, and he it was like black screens and just the link.
Yep.
I think that's the way that it should have handled it, but I guess I'm not the authority on morals and ethics also, you know, so.
No, I think Pat handled it really well.
Yeah. CrossFit really
Pat's downside now is this freaking PFAA garbage that's going up.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. How much of a hand do you think that Pat actually has in it? Because seeing from that clip that Hiller posted, and to be honest with you, I didn't watch all the Coffee Pods and WOD thing. I
watched it. Based on that interview alone, I'm like, I'm not sure how much Pat really knows about what's going on.
Like, is
Brett seems to be spearheading this whole thing and not being very transparent.
Yeah, dude. I was like, I told Joe this like earlier on the stream, but at one point somebody commented in there on Hiller's post, like, this is out of context. This is like an hour and 15 minutes into the thing. And yeah, of course, it was a really long interview. So of course it's going to get awkward. I'm like, dude, you're such an idiot. Like,
Yeah. Oh,
you're
yeah.
so stupid. Making the excuse of time for being the reason why it got awkward.
Yeah.
You know, like, especially when you know what you're there to do. You're there to answer questions. You're there. You should be prepared. You're there to have the conversation, the hard conversations, and answer the hard questions. Did Pedro ask any like hard hitting questions? Did he ask anything that was tough?
Oh, I'm trying to recall. I mean, the main thing that he asked that is when it got awkward about the number. Like, they were saying how they can't get in front of CrossFit, they can't get meetings and all that. And he was like, well, it seems like there was this meeting, and this meeting. And then it was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
What meetings?
Right.
Because these were like new events that I guess had been talked about kind of behind the scenes that weren't really known.
What do you think the motivation behind lying is? If it was a lie, do you think that Brent was like purposefully lying?
I don't know. I mean, there's people saying that there might be personal vendettas or motivation for, you know, post career, that they're trying to stay relevant and be involved. I don't know why, if the PFAA is such a thing, why there would be a meeting that those two specifically wouldn't know about. Like, one of them wouldn't know about. That seems really weird.
Is Pat, is he like an owner of PFAA? Like, what's the deal? How does
I don't know how you own a backyard club that you just kind of randomly came up with.
Well, it's his treehouse. It's not
Pat's
treehouse.
He owns the treehouse.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I understand the PFAA, why they want to do it. I don't know how they think at this time it's overly relevant, because nobody knows who's in it.
Yeah.
You know, like the interview with Angelo and Saxon, they were like, we haven't been on any calls. We haven't been in any meetings.
Right.
We're not members. Like, what do you get when you're a member?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of weight do they think they have, other than some athletes that are in agreement or not? And it doesn't seem like any of them are in agreement on anything.
Yeah, well, that's the point that I tried to bring up to Joe, is like, I don't even understand why anybody's wasting any time talking about them, because they don't have any, they don't like, I understand, but it's almost like we're just as bad as them because we're being emotional about the PFAA and the things that they're demanding and talking about, when they literally have zero track record. Like, they have no record to go off of to be like, yeah, they have power, they're going to make this happen. Like, they haven't done anything, you know, as far as I'm concerned, they haven't, at least. And so it's like CrossFit as a company, you know, Don and all the like corporate people are probably like, this is like you said, a backyard clubhouse. Like, what, this doesn't mean anything to us, so we're just not even going to address it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like they have any contracts with CrossFit, as far as I'm like aware. It's not that they actually have done any work with CrossFit, so CrossFit doesn't owe them anything. And then people are getting fired up that they're making these demands. It's like, they're just saying things. It's not even making demands. They're literally just saying, they're just speaking English. That's all they're doing.
I think like you said earlier with Brent, somebody like Brent and frankly Pat, because as far as the PFAA goes, I don't know who else there is.
Yeah.
Because those two are doing all the talking.
Right.
Like, who else is involved?
Yeah.
But like you said, with the competition, if Brent and Pat had pulled out, citing, we have brought these things up, you're not following them, we're done.
Yeah.
That would have made it make such a big impact.
Oh yeah, totally.
I mean, that says a lot.
Because you have the two powerhouses of the sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the two people that have been citing safety issues.
Yeah. CrossFit goes, it felt weird to me when it went from games booth to product 2, but I don't know if they know what they should or shouldn't do. I don't know if all athletes possess emotional intelligence. Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Pat feels like an athlete that yells at refs but keeps playing. Brent looks like a coach that cites the rule book to gain advantages. He also asked an NDA question that Brent said never happened. He's on the board. Do we think Brent shares the Instagram login with Pat? Probably not.
Don't know.
I would imagine not, you know. Like,
again, I like what the PFA wants to do. I think it's definitely good to have some checks and balances when it comes to safety and stuff like that. There's the big thing on this was the timing.
Yeah.
The timing and the wording saying we demand. Well, you can't demand anything because you're not going to act on it if they don't. That was something that came up. I think that was in Pedro's show. It was like, okay, what are you going to do if they don't do this? And they didn't really have an answer.
Yeah. Well, I also think
You're
that,
just going to go with it again, or you're not going to do, or you're not going to play. Period.
yeah, for sure.
You got to make a stand.
I think though too, it's like I think it's just the language that a lot of people have an issue with when it comes to PFAA, right? Like obviously they can't demand anything because they don't have a contract. They're not.
You're not a union,
right? There's nothing like going on between them and CrossFit, so they can't legitimately demand anything. I think the reason why they put demand in their thing was just to sound better, just to sound more legitimate, you know.
Yep.
So I think that really the problem is just the language that people are taking issue with.
Yep.
Oh man, yeah, it's so
interested to see. Like, I think Sevon and those guys will go on live today and kind of discuss Luca's post, and
yeah,
I always go to those types of things to get thoughts. I try to gather thoughts and opinions from all over because I'm not the deepest thinker. I'm a very emotional person, so I will react, and I try to gather some information. I'm getting better at it. And not overreact.
I need you to let me know when you feel emotional and want to react so that we can hop on live.
Right.
Even if it's at like 10 p.m. at night, then we'll get
get me
together.
in trouble. Then it'll be Instagram posts about me.
Exactly. And I'll just sit back like, you guys, this is just Travis's thoughts.
Right.
I'm just giving him a platform to speak about it.
There'll be a disclaimer at the beginning of the shows now. Opinions shared on this show.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Usually you and I are pretty much on the same page with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely we are. Yeah. Vic said definitely will generate more sales if you talk to Travis. You can't help but buy from him. And he says, I don't think anyone owns it or even collects dues. It's still very new to this day. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I think it's a great thing. It can hopefully get there if they don't shoot themselves in the foot along the way.
I don't think anybody like disagrees with like the sentiment of who they are or what they want to do, right? Like athlete pay and, you know, safety and, you know, all that stuff like we've talked about before. I think that the PFAA is actually probably a good thing because it seems kind of like sanctioning things, right? Like like having some sort of sanction, somebody that can like, you know, we as CrossFitters, we don't have time to get a real job, so maybe we should have some sort of salary. Maybe CrossFit can sell product for us or whatever, blah, 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 blah. Maybe we're guaranteed insurance because we can't work. We don't want to be on state insurance, whatever the deal is, right? There's so many things that the PFAA could do that would probably be good for CrossFitters. It's just when you make this, like, again, it seems very opportunist. Yeah. I just keep going back to that.
They could just don't use the word demand.
Yeah.
For one.
Right.
And then where they lost a lot of people and probably a lot of higher up, you know, strong-willed people like the Mayhem people, especially when they included removing Dave from the games, that hurt them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I've said it, and I think other people have said it too, that, you know, getting Dave fired and from after rereading it and hearing it out, it doesn't sound like they want Dave fired. They don't want him to be involved with the games as a director of the games. Like, keep him with CrossFit on the training side and all that, just not on the games side of it.
I just don't know what that would do. I don't understand what the benefit to that is. And like, I think that like they should have got all their ducks in a row before they actually decided to just start talking shit.
They jumped on the emotional. While the iron's hot, we got to strike.
Yeah, jeez, dude.
We can get people's opinions and get them on board, and it doesn't seem like it. You know, it was like Angelo and those guys were like, "No, we don't agree."
Right.
And it sounds like a lot of them don't agree. They say like 54% ish, something like that, approval with the members.
Yeah.
So it was. I mean, yes, it's a majority, but it's not an overwhelming. We all agree.
Right. Yeah. It's basically half. Yeah. CrossFit, if those guys withdrew, they likely would have triggered more athletes to withdraw and put the event at a tipping point just on amount of athletes in the field. Yeah, but hey,
you would have forced their hand
exactly
at that point. And now you're standing with our morals and what we actually think.
Right. And so if you actually want to make change, like that's how you do things. Whether I agree with it or not doesn't matter. I'm just giving an objective viewpoint on like how you should have actually handled the situation if you really want to. Like to my knowledge, a bunch of you CrossFit people complain so much about CrossFit for so long and all the changes that need to be made and blah, 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 blah. All this just dumb shit. But like, you don't vote with your dollars. You don't vote with your time. You don't vote with action. It's like, what do you expect? You know, like, yeah, so if you finish out the weekend, everyone's going to be like, oh, you know, it seems like everybody's okay with this, you know, option and blah, blah. And then so even if you're not and it's not your intention, then when you come out later, like Brent Fikowski and Pat, and you're like, hey, we didn't like this very much. It's like, well, okay, that's weird because it seemed like you were fine with it. With it. So like, why do you have a problem with it now? So yeah, I think that, dude, to be honest with you, it would have been much more respectable if they would have forced the hand of everyone else.
Yeah. The only way you're going to affect CrossFit is through money.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's no athletes to compete, it's going to affect CrossFit in the end.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, I don't know what athlete contracts are with the event. Can they just pull out whenever they damn well please? Are they tied in some way to CrossFit financially? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you're going to get a so-called blackballed. Like, well, we're not going to fucking invite you next time. But that's the risk. I mean, like I said, morals. Do you have them or not?
Yeah.
This is how I feel. This is what we're doing. We're taking a stand. We're not playing.
Well, and it goes to like, dude, I just want to ask everybody this question. And like, I would love to talk to an athlete that's like, quote unquote, scared of Dave or whatever it is, you know, but like that kept getting brought up in podcasts, you know, with Savannah and whatever. And, you know, Saxon, right? Yeah. Saxon. And then Facundo was that athletes are scared of Dave. I'm like, dude, what exactly do they think Dave is going to do? Why are you scared of him? Like, you're not scared of Dave. You're just scared to speak your mind in general. Because what are you scared of this 50, almost 60, maybe in his 60s-year-old man doing to you, a 20-some-year-old, 30-some-year-old, extremely fit guy? Like, are you afraid that he's going to commit violence on you? Or are you afraid that he's going to like not invite you to the games next year, even if you earned your spot? Like, what exactly is the discrepancy here? I don't understand what's happening.
And especially at the point where you've already been invited and accepted an invite to the games.
Yeah.
Speak out.
Right. What's going to happen?
How you feel. If they blackball you, you have one hell of a story.
Right.
And like, you have some actual things to lean on.
Yeah, but dude, also, to be honest with you, like, if you're scared of one man, why should any of us support you and your mission in the first place? Like, if you are scared of this guy, like you're so scared that you can't even like speak, why should we support your mission in general? Like, because you're just gonna fold anytime that you get hit with any sort of adversity or a differencing of opinion. It makes no sense, dude.
It's silly.
Yeah. Well, CrossFit says being that choice with their words about Dave feels like they knew they needed an out in their firing statement.
Being that choice. Type it in English next time.
Yeah, dude. I don't know what you're saying.
Sorry.
He or she or shim or whatever. Well, you got any big plans for today, dude?
It's working. Got kind of last minute competition scheduled next weekend, so getting ready for that.
Where at?
Nice, easy one. Just over in Ames, Iowa.
Sweet.
2.5 hours away. Easy one.
All right. You gonna drive there and back same day?
No, my cousin actually lives in Ames, so going over
cool.
Friday night, spending the night there.
Hell yeah.
I actually got to help her that weekend. My daughter's coming with me.
No way.
Oh yeah.
All right. Travie doesn't have to be on the grind fully.
Right.
There we go.
You can relax a little bit.
Hell yeah, dude. Kick back with a Rona.
Right?
at the booth.
Just getting 10 and shit. She's 16. She could drive home.
Yeah, hell yeah. Travis gonna get loaded.
You're gonna see some bad social media posts if that happens.
Yep. CrossFit real quick said, sorry, basically them saying they didn't want him fired, just off the games. Felt Weasley. Gotta go bully some old guys on GWTP.
Like whoever's
All right,
involved in
thanks.
the games isn't gonna be like, so hey Dave, what do you think of this? Hey Dave,
Yeah.
what do you think of this?
Right. Ridiculous, dude. There's so much drama in the CrossFit world right now, dude. It's crazy. Like even the Mitchell Hooper stuff with John Young. You're boys with John Young, aren't you?
God, he hasn't posted anything recently. That freaking
Hooper or
jackball.
John?
Hooper. I haven't noticed anything recently. He kind of got ass pounded. So
bet you Justin Berg's relieved. Well, who's Justin Berg?
He used to be involved in the games.
Oh,
I think he was like director of the games when Dave was gone, mate. I don't remember what his director of sport, something like that.
You know what I think? Real quick with the Mitchell Hooper thing. You know what I think it was? I think Mitchell Hooper, he's posting every single day right now.
Saw that.
So he's just reaching for content. You know,
he jumped on the hot bandwagon. He knew it was going to get views.
Well,
so.
So my question is he the person that put that forward, or was there somebody else that came out and was like, John Young is a misogynist? Like, was Hooper?
I'm sure somebody put it in his ear.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's not like I highly doubt, no offense, I highly doubt Mitchell Hooper is watching the Barbell Spin podcast.
Yeah.
So somebody put it in his ear with what John said. And then he was like, holy shit, look at all these views I'm getting.
Yeah.
We got to stay on this one.
I don't even know what was so offensive that he said.
He said what everybody thinks.
Yeah.
What 90% of people think.
The funniest part for me is Mitchell Hooper's like, these are the type of guys that look at women as objects and just want to sleep with them. And I'm like, hey, dumb shit. Did you not want to bang your wife when you first saw her? And is that not the reason that you first talked to her in the first place?
Welcome to being a dude.
Yeah. How stupid can you be? Like, the only reason you get in a relationship or give a girl a shot or like even communicate to a girl that you possibly would have a relationship with is because you want to bang them first.
Right.
This is the first thing. Like, your head fills with blood and you're like, hey, I kind of like this girl. Let me go talk to her real quick. Like, you're not going to like look at an ugly girl and be like, you know what? I should really get to know her. Maybe I'll date her. You know, that just doesn't happen. How unrealistic. Trying to get
your Mitchell Hooper moment here?
No, I'm not, because I'm going to put this in AI.
You're going to clip that.
I'm going to put it in AI and maybe it'll clip it. But dude, that blows my mind when people say shit like that. When they're like, like as if sex isn't the first reason that you would ever talk to somebody. It's just like super basic biology. Like you get a boner looking at somebody and you're like, oh yeah, dude, that one. I'm going to go try my hand at her. It's not an ugly girl that you're going up to and being like, hey, I really want to get to know you and hopefully I'm sexually attracted to you later.
My favorite outcome of the whole thing was, I think it was Spin that went through Hooper's Instagram and he doesn't follow any of the strong women. Dude, he follows all the CrossFitters, but none of the strong women.
Yes, that's so funny. Oh my gosh, dude. I feel like if you if you're gonna say something like that, yeah, you better double down and make sure that you are following all those people and that you're not just following like hot CrossFit chicks. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make any sense. Which, by the way, I don't think any girls are hot besides my girlfriend. So any of you nasty ass women looking here, don't even
with your short shorts and your boobs just hanging out. How
how dare you?
Ew! Follow.
Go follow Travi.
Follow away. Anything for a sale.
Yeah. Vic says, oh man, so many jokes. LOL, no comment. Good save. Yeah. Well, you know, I'm not kidding. I don't comment on any other women because I'm in a relationship. I think that's how I respect my girl. That's one of the ways I respect my girl. So yeah, dude. Well, anyways, I'm sure you have some work to get back to. I got some edits that I got to make and now I got to clip that Mitchell Hooper piece right now and put it up on Instagram.
Yeah. Just put it out there yourself. Just own it.
I should. Yeah.
Yo, it's fucking ugly.
Is Savan going live today?
He will at some point. They're at the NorCal Classic. So I think Hiller's on his way there. and they're all in house. It'll be interesting to see if he gets Colton on the live show, because Colton's staying with him too.
Isn't he? He's competing, right?
Yeah.
I have hopefully this thing goes through with Colton, but yeah, hopefully
This thing.
Yeah.
Vague.
Yeah, it's vague. I'm hoping.
Very vague.
I don't even know if he knows about it, but maybe. So, well, I'm not
You're
gonna.
wearing
We're
a
not gonna
shirt.
see that. No, I am, dude.
See that?
Yeah, I actually did that on purpose today.
Did you see what I have on?
Yeah, ripping and shredding, dude. On the back, yes, sir. Let's go. Let's go.
Rip and shred shirt.
Dude, Tristan wore his shirt.
Did he?
Here. Yeah.
The white one?
Yeah. Yeah. So good. I can't wait for him to post. It's gonna be so funny. Do you want people knowing about that?
I don't care.
All right.
I'm gonna get all the negative fucking
Dude, I bet you get a
How
bunch
dare
of
you.
orders. I bet you people are gonna want them if you repost.
I was thinking about that. I was like, I can't put that on the website.
You have
that
to.
falls into the category of a different company, and I'm not going to be that company.
Yeah, facts. Facts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vic says, have a great day, guys. Nothing but love, y'all. Gotta hop. All right, dude. Peace out. Thank you so much for being here. Travi, we should go live again this week because I just these are easy conversations.
This week it's Thursday.
Holy
the week's
crap,
almost
it's
over.
Thursday. Oh my
Right?
gosh. That's crazy.
I'm at a competition on Saturday, so
That's
this
right.
week's over.
Next week. You want to do
I'm
next
sure
week?
there's going to be more drama we can talk about next week.
Yeah, I'll text you.
Yeah, just let me know.
All right, dog. Cool. I'm going to end the stream here. So thanks, guys, for watching. Like the video if you did like it. Subscribe if you're new. On the way to 1,000 subs. Hopefully we get there soon. All right. Peace out, y'all. And scream. Boom.